Welcome back to Everybody Studios. I'm your host, Meredith Dean Marinator, and I'm so excited because I have this incredible guest who's also a bestie at the same time. We have Elena Kacan with us. She is a podcast host. She's a marketing strategist for Bloomreach. She's a content creator at Queen City E on Instagram.
Hey.
And you're just a phenomenal human being. And I'm just so glad you're here with this cool shirt.
Thanks,
Look
babe.
at that
I'm
shirt.
so excited to be here. I was like, I'm going to make a statement with this one. I just recently bought this shirt and everybody seems to be wearing it and I had to have it. I'm just fired up about women in general right now. So,
I am too. We're gonna
yeah.
get into all of the things. And you've been in Charlotte for 10 plus years. So you
Yep.
are a perfect person to bring in for everybody in Charlotte
Thank
too.
you. Yes, I'm so happy to be here. I've been watching all of your stuff. Obviously, like I follow you and we hang
Thanks.
out all the time, but I'm just super proud of you and I'm happy to be here with you.
I'm so proud of you. And I think that's
Thanks.
what's the best too is when you have women that really see each other for who they
Ugh,
are
it's the
deeply in
best.
every way, professionally, personally, all of it. And I just love seeing both of our growth over time. I think
It's
about where
crazy.
we were, even like 2, 3 years ago and where we are now. However, according to JD Vance, the new VP for Trump here, he says that women who are childless, like us, are cat ladies, and that we essentially are worthless to society. What do you have to say about that with everyone watches women's sports and
Ugh.
all the
It
things?
hurts. Right now, we're obviously, like, in a crazy time. I'm fired up about Kamala, and I'm like, Are you kidding me right now?" Like, this is what you're going up against. So, as a proud cat owner and someone who is advocating for women on all levels, yeah, I'm frustrated by it. I'm like, "Why does this need to be the thing that you hold on to?" And I obviously embrace the singleness and the, cat lover in me. But I
Literally.
also just bought a house and I'm like super like proud of how far I've come. And we've talked about growth too. And you've just poured a lot of life and encouragement into me these past few years. And I'm just like, I'm doing it by myself and that's okay. And yeah, I'm like, boo.
Boo,
Boo.
right? But it's incredible, even our group of girlfriends too, to see how much everyone supports each other. And what do you think are maybe some pieces of advice that you've gotten in your 30s now as this amazing professional who's super involved in Charlotte and has done a lot? Is there something that sticks out to you that you're like, I wish young Elena would have known this, or something that hit you recently that you're like, dude, I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I am very proud of myself for doing all the things. And I think we have a great support circle, which keeps me going. It keeps me motivated. I think I'm inspired by all the people doing amazing things here in Charlotte. And I'm always amazed at how cool Charlotte is becoming.
So
Um,
having that core group that's supporting you too, and then you're
it's
able to
huge. It's
lift each other
huge
up at the same time.
because I don't think I would have had the confidence or the, like, I don't know, wherewithal. Like, I always tell you, if I can't see it, I can't be it. And seeing you being able to like embrace your business and take clients and have a corporate job and your side business, I was like, if she could do it, I could do it. So it was like so encouraging for me and actually got me started. But one thing I've carried with me is like, I try literally everything. And I think that's how I've gotten to be successful in my career because I tried sports broadcasting, I tried sales, I tried social media marketing and navigated my career just by like saying yes and figuring it out and determining whether or not I was into it or not. I just kind of went with it and like let the flow take me where it needed to take me. And obviously, I've gotten great opportunities by just saying yes. I mean, literally, you called me today, probably 30 minutes ago, and here I am. So say yes and figure it out later. I think that's been my rule of thumb when it comes to career. And now that I'm out here doing it and obviously feeling some level of success, I'm like, do it scared because I think that is been my motto. I really want to get it tatted on me or something because I find myself being paralyzed by analysis paralysis. I'm like, I'm scared. I'm nervous. I'm unprepared. I'm worried about what will happen. And honestly, like when I just let go of that and do it anyway, great things happen. That's where growth happens. So those are the 2
Truly,
pieces of things I feel like have carried me through my career and what I recommend
do
to
it
younger.
scared. It's so important because yeah, progress paralysis, analysis paralysis, it's so real that we tend to overthink things sometimes. And it's funny because you might think a little bit more than I do about things. I just do it and we'll just see what
But
happens.
you
But
inspire me to just do it. I don't know. There's a lot of times where I'll just message you and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm thinking about this and here are the details I'm going through in my head." And you're like, just post it, it looks fine. Or just go for it, it's fine. And I'm like,
Because it's amazing. I mean, when you
"Yes,
look at it from my perspective, I'm like, you don't need to overthink this at all.
I
It's
know."
incredible, and the stuff, we've even noticed on social media, the things that you just tend to post, and it's like, oh, we'll just see what happens. Those are the ones that go viral.
Ugh, I know.
It's so funny instead of the ones that we spend hours and hours on, and then
Well, I think I'm so intentional about how I want to curate, and I think you and I talk about this a lot because we have a particular persona that we want to share with the world, and I think that Instagram fortunately or unfortunately allows you to do that, but I'm just so particular. I don't want like any missteps. I don't want there to be any confusion, so I'm carefully crafting what I want people to see, and I think people are craving a little bit more authenticity, and so I'm learning to like just kind of let go of the perfectionism in me.
And that kinda comes from corporate though too. I mean, you do so many great things in there for Bloomreach, and there's also so many levels of approval. So that makes sense for maybe your own personal brand too, where you're like, "Hey, let's check some levels of approval with friends," and
Yeah,
it makes sense.
it does. I think I'm understanding the value of personal brand though, and I think people are gravitating to more of the real, the raw, the behind the scenes, the authenticity, and not the perfect polished. Everything has got to be tied up with a little bow. So I'm trying to let go of that feeling and just embrace like the realness of it all.
And that's what I love about Gen Z and Gen Alpha, honestly. I mean, you look at these teens and also Gen Z that's just helping a lot of millennials or even Gen X and some boomers with their content. Even Kamala's, I mean, her whole campaign right
I
now, Kamala
can't.
is Brat. I mean, Charlie XCX ended up
I love
promoting
that.
her, and it was amazing. And people, I mean, it's just going crazy. The merch, all of it. And we're only 2 days into her announcement as
Her
potentially
marketing
being
team is
the
unhinged. I'm
yeah.
obsessed with it. Like, she knows what people are going to gravitate towards, and that's so smart. And as a social media content curator and strategist, I, like, advise businesses on what to put out there, including Bloomreach, including other brands. So I'm like, I need to know what's going on
Yeah.
online, but I'm like, she tapped in so beautifully. I wanna do, like,
Go
a little
Kamala's team.
yeah, I wanna do, like, a little case study of, like, how she's kind of tapping in unique and smart ways from a marketing perspective, because
Mhm.
that's what my where my brain goes. So,
Yeah.
genius. So
Genius,
smart.
literally genius. Even Duolingo, I don't know if you follow them at all.
Yeah.
Their team is unhinged in the best way, and I mean, they've grown to be one of the top TikTok accounts. It's
Well, you guys do a great job with this, and, you
thank you.
guys are about
There's a great founder behind Everybody Studios who allows us to do these
Oh
fun
my
things
gosh,
too.
but that's what you need. It's like, let your team cook a little bit, let them be a little bit more creative, let them be a little bit more fun. I think that that's when you'll get more engagement, more eyeballs. It's people wanna hear from people too, not brands, and I think that we're trying to lead with personality-led content, and I manage a podcast as well, and I'm encouraging myself, honestly, I'm like, I know what people wanna see, and it's hard, it's very meta because I'm, like, recommending things to myself because I'm like, "This would be good for the brand to, like, showcase your personality a little bit more." But we went from, like, interview-based podcasts to now co-hosted commentary and showcasing our personalities a little bit to where we're controlling the narrative and people are buying into us as people and marketers and merchandisers before they buy into, like, maybe the guest that's just a one and done. So, I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but every brand is different. Every, company needs something a little bit unique. I think B2B needs to be a little bit more polished sometimes, but we're seeing on our B2B accounts, like, when you have a little fun, that's the ones that get the most traction. So,
Oh, exactly.
kinda like, "All right, let's take a step out of the perfection era and implement that there too."
We love it, and that's the thing. Even when you're looking at Instagram feeds, we're going away from the millennial. It needed to be a perfect feed
Yeah.
and just have the exact aesthetic. And now even blurry photos are in. I mean, that's such a
I
big thing
know.
for Gen Z now. Is like, let's have this cool blurry
Moment.
photo, this moment, yeah. And it's amazing to me. I love it.
I love it too because every time I see it, I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, I wanna that's cool.
That's cool. Let's emulate that.
I keep my eyes on everything. I wanna know what's going on so I can speak to it, and yeah, I feel like you just gotta stay head on a swivel, like, I gotta know what's going on,
And
so
you're so good about that. You know all the trends and everything. You work very hard. You also play hard. I feel like you're very good about, juggling all the things. You have your 9 to 5, 5 to 9, but you're also doing all the things in Charlotte. So what are your favorite things to do in Charlotte? Maybe some recommendations you might have for people who are watching?
oh gosh, favorite things. I mean, I love to eat and drink, so anytime there's a new bar or cocktail lounge or food place coming out, I definitely add it to the list. I have a running list and I like check things off as I go. So if you say, "Hey, we should go grab dinner. Where do you want to go?" I've got a full list that I can access. And I'm like, "What about blank blank? I've never been there." We recently, you and I just went to Puerta, which was really
Yes,
great.
so good.
I love Puerta. One other one, they just got nominated for number one restaurant in Charlotte by Yunta by
Oh,
Axios.
Utah is my fave.
One of my
So good.
favorites. Vibes are
Mm.
great. I really wanna try the new soundbar Osaka, or I
Ooh,
think
yes,
yes.
yes,
I'm into vibey experiences, so
100%.
I actually thought about doing a series online where it's like, if this is your vibe, here's where to go, because that feels very authentic to me.
Mhm.
And some days I'm just feeling like a little swanky, and then some days I'm feeling a little grunge, and maybe I don't know, I like to switch it up. So those are a few of my faves slash, what I wanna try. I'm trying to think of, like, anything cool. I mean, I love attending events, and I love the creative community here, so I just went to Khalil Lloyd's block party.
Yes,
They
that was so
did a
cool.
big, event for the community. They just opened up a new studio, so shout out to you guys. They did an
And
amazing
Camp
job.
North End, it was
Camp North End.
fantastic.
Yeah, so just anytime people are gathering and, like, sharing creative ideas or music or good vibes, I'm there.
And
So,
that actually prompts another question here. You know, you're super involved in all these different groups. You know a lot of people in Charlotte.
yeah.
How would you recommend someone that is maybe coming in that's new to the business scene in Charlotte? Where should they start networking
Hmm.
to start building community?
My favorite is Creative Mornings.
That's what I always say. Yes,
It's the
yes.
best. I know you and I go, and that's, like, probably where we, like, first recognized each other or whatever, in addition to the young professionals group we were in. But I would say Creative Mornings because you have access to so many really cool, unique people doing amazing things in the city, so you can meet a lot of great people and kind of expand your mindset and ideas, and they just prompt, like, such a good time and great vibes. There's a lot of networking groups depending on your industry. I'm now in the tech industry, so I try to keep my eye out for different opportunities to engage. I'm involved in Carolina Women in Tech,
We
and
love. Yay,
yes, which we
Caitlin.
we love them. Um, and it just depends. Like if you're in the entrepreneur space, Charlotte Business Group, we right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
them.
Charlotte Business
Yep.
Group. Yep. Oh,
They
and Charlotte Entrepreneurs. Yep.
entrepreneurs. That's what I meant. So yeah, there's a few that I'm extra involved in. I also work and I just kind of stepped out of my curatorship, but I was the curator for the Charlotte Shapers,
It's
which is
how we
part of
met.
the World Economic Forum, which is how we met. So, if you're under 27, I believe you can apply. So if you're young and hungry and want to like get involved in the community, that's a vibe. So there are a few.
There are so many. I
Yeah.
love it. And also you went to App State too. I don't know if there's a good alumni group, you know,
Oh yeah,
that maybe
there
been a
is.
part of that. That's where I met Liz, who's the head of studio here. Or
So
well, we
great.
didn't meet there, but we were able to do a lot of events together through Georgia, the Georgia chapter here.
Yeah, like find your chapter wherever you went to college. I know that
Mhm.
there's tons of local schools here and App State. Like that was the first thing I did when I came to Charlotte. I was like, where do I go? What do I do? So definitely recommend great place to network and meet people. And then also like just go to places that you feel like you're interested in. Like I know people are really into running, like maybe go to a run club or, whatever the case might be, just finding out what your hobbies are. And then you'll find people who are also interested in those things there too. So finding some good alignment in whatever you're
So
into.
much alignment. I
So
love it.
much alignment.
And also you've been, you know, you're from well, you're not from Charlotte originally, but you've been here 10 plus years. Like we
Yep.
said, you went to high school here.
Mhm.
So what has kept you in Charlotte? You know, what makes you want to buy a home here and keep your roots here, even though you've been here for so long? That always makes me really happy when people want to stay in the same city that they went to high school in.
I love that you encourage people to stay. I think we need to keep great talent here so we could be a thriving city. We talk about that a lot. But I feel like every week there's something new happening, and Charlotte's getting more and more innovative and creative with what we come up with and how we curate experiences. And I'm all about the experience. And the fact that we have like professional sports, it's not too crowded. The weather is great. Like we're centrally located to a lot of different areas where you can like pop up and down to the mountains or the beach or whatever. I know everybody probably says that, but
I love that. That's always
very,
my
yeah.
favorite. It's true. It's true.
Very centrally located in that sense, but I don't know, the people have just kept me here. Like, I meet so many new people, and I've gone through a lot of different phases. I'll sometimes run into people from high school, and I'm like, "Ah, hey, what's up?" But, like, every stage that I'm in, I'm able to, like, gravitate towards a new group of people to kind of match where I'm at. So a lot of my friends that I met when I first came here are all getting married and having babies, which I still absolutely love them, but we're just in different places. So I've been able to find our crew where, we're thinking about entrepreneurial, endeavors and being creative and business minded things because that's what track we're on right now. So I imagine as I evolve, my friend groups will evolve, and obviously, I'm excited to keep seeing where that takes me. But I don't know. I just feel like there's a great opportunity to grow. Like I kind of like the idea of becoming. I want this place to be a big pond. I'm excited about the idea of like every year that I grow, I feel like a bigger fish because of the amount of groundwork I'm laying. But I want this to be a big pond too. Like there's something about you, like, survived in New York, but there's something about feeling like you're getting swallowed up in New York a little bit. Charlotte, I feel like, is the right size pond for
Oh,
me.
yeah, and ideas take hold really fast
Yeah,
because there's something new all the time, so people wanna experience it, they wanna try it, and I love that willingness to embrace new things.
and I think people will be on board. I think if you explain your mission clearly and you are excited about it and you can kinda sell it a little bit, people are like, "I'm down to support, like, whatever y" like, I don't know, I'm really easily encouraged to support people who have cool ideas, and then I'm always thinking, like, "How can I help? And how can I support you, or how can I shine a spotlight on what you're doing so all of my network can come and more people can hear about it?" So,
And that's one of my favorite qualities about you. There's so many qualities that I love about you, but Elena, thank you for being on our show
I know,
today.
thank you for having me,
Ugh,
this is so exciting. I have obviously such a big fan of you, and I just can't thank you
big
enough
fan of you.
for bringing people together and providing an opportunity for people to talk about why they love Charlotte, and thank you to Everybody Studios for having me.
Well, I'm going to support you forever and always. But once again, this was a wonderful episode with Elena Kacan. She's Queen City E on Instagram. Every single Tuesday, we bring in a new guest to come in to talk about what they love about Charlotte and all their different accomplishments that make the city so great. If you want to host your own podcast or you have your own creative project, you can come to Everybody Studios. Once again, I'm your host, Meredith Dean. We'll see you next week.